The reason why so many people fail at writing a book is because they don't have a process. As a book writing coach and content strategist, I talk to a lot of people who want to write a book or create content. They have a lot of great ideas, but they find the writing process to be frustrating or overwhelming. So in this video, I'm going to share my 3-step process for writing a book or creating content. It's going to make it so doable, reduce your stress, improve your writing skills, and put you back in control of your book writing or content creation process. Welcome to Writing with Denise Renee. My videos are all about helping you write books and create content that helps you get clients, grows your audience, and expand your opportunities. If this is your vibe, then you've got to subscribe. Now get ready to take notes because we're diving right into this video's topic. So no matter what you want to create, whether it's writing a book, scripting long or short videos, publishing a blog, captioning social media posts, producing a podcast, or developing a sales presentation or a pitch, writing is the skill that's at the backbone of many of the different types of content we want to create. Even if you're creating something as simple as a bullet-pointed outline so that you can organize your thoughts, or it's a quick caption, or something longer like a blog article, a script, or a book. A lot of people struggle with writing. And it could be because maybe you never thought of yourself as a good writer. Quite possibly you had an English teacher in high school, I hope it wasn't me, who made you feel bad about your writing and traumatized you. Or maybe you feel like, hey, I'm in a boring profession. I'm not creative enough to write. Let me assure you of one thing. People like me who love writing enough to have made a career out of it, we were born just like you. Butt naked, no teeth, dribbling, and most importantly, not knowing how to speak or understand any language. I promise you, I did not come out my mama's belly with a notebook and a pen in hand. I wasn't born with the ability to write well. Neither was Stephen King. Neither was Alice Walker. Neither was James Patterson. We all learned how to write. Now, some of us developed an early love for reading and writing, and we kept on developing that skill. And that's my point. Writing is a skill, and skills are learnable. I learned how to write well, and just your luck, I enjoy teaching, so I'm going to help you write better too. So along with this video, I've also created a blog post that has a list of resources in it to help you improve your content creation and writing skills. Click the link in the description of this video to check it out. So I know it sounds great, like, hey, you can learn how to write too. You can learn how to make content creation easy too. The problem is you might be feeling pressure to get good now because you want to write a book now. You want to put out great pieces of content now. There's so much to learn and implement immediately. Your blood pressure might be going up just thinking about it. Your underdeveloped skills are holding you back and you feel it. And it's at that point where a lot of people give up. They stop writing the book. They stop creating content. They feel like this is just not working, so why bother? If that's where you are, this video is for you. You need to look at that problem objectively. You are trying to do everything all at once. You're trying to eat the elephant in one big go. The only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to make their first draft their final draft. And it just doesn't work that way. Writing is a process. Creating content is a process. I mean, just coming to you with this video is a process. I had to come up with the idea, create the script, perform it, get it edited, write the blog post, all of the things. And then when it's done, I gotta promote the thing. So there's so many different steps in a process. And that's the way you need to approach your writing. Break it down into a process. So because I've loved writing and have studied writing and have developed my writing skills over 40 or so years, my process is deeply ingrained. But because I'm a teacher, I've been able to simplify my process into 3 easy to follow steps. So my 3-step process for content creation and writing is number 1, to create, number 2, to curate or critique, and number 3, complete. Let's break down each of these 3 steps. Step number 1, create. The creative part of the process should be the most fun part of the process. This is where you tap into your inner Elsa and let it flow, let it flow. If my son was here, he'd be like, immediately, no. But anyway, yes, you want to let your ideas flow. It's so important that you give your ideas space to breathe. Okay? This is not the time to be self-critical. All right? That's in step 2. All right? We in step 1 right now. Let your ideas flow. Let them live. Let them stay on the page. I posted a short video not too long ago. In it, I essentially said that you have to separate the time that you're creating from the time that you are critiquing or editing or judging your work. They can't happen in the same setting. It's counterproductive. When you find yourself writing something down on the page and then going delete, 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 you're back at square one, staring at a blank page. And that's not helpful. I did say that. I did post that. There is a video. I'll stick it in there. Stop hitting the delete button. That's the hack for you if you're struggling with writer's block. No, seriously, stop hitting the delete button. Just write. See, what often holds people back is that they're constantly judging their writing while they're writing it. They're saying,
this doesn't sound good. Delete, delete, delete.
And therefore you end up with a blank page, the same as how you started. That's not helpful at all. All your ideas have merit, so write them down and keep them down on the page. If you have a completely new idea, then start writing it in a new document or in a separate notebook. Just don't destroy the ideas that you have and return to edit them later. Now, this is a helpful writing hack. Whether you're writing a book, a blog, you're working on a dissertation, you're creating a video script, composing a newsletter, or creating a presentation at work. Did you find this helpful? Share it with a writer who you know is struggling with their project. And be sure you are subscribed or following at Writing with Denise Renee for more writing and content hacks just like this. But anyway, let's go. So write down all of your ideas and save them. Or if writing is taking too long, if speaking out your ideas or your content is easier, grab your phone and use the voice notes to speak out your ideas and get them transcribed. The hardest part is not to judge your words while you're getting them out. You also cannot think about what other people are going to think. You can't worry if this Instagram post is going to get a whole lot of likes or not. You can't be concerned about if you're going to sell 1,000 copies of your book or not while you're trying to write it. There is a time for that. Creation time ain't it. Create for the joy of creating. It's magical. You're taking things out of your ideas, you're putting them into a format that other people can experience. That is godlike magic. So get into your creativity, even if you don't feel like a creative person. We are all creators. So I have a question for you. Do you find it hard or easy to let your ideas flow without getting self-critical? Let me know down in the comments. All right, now let's get into step 2 of my 3-step process for writing a book or creating content. Step 2 is to critique, or if you don't like that word, curate. So now the critiquing stage or the curating stage, this is going to be the longest part of the process. This is where we kind of go over things over and over again. We make little tweaks, or maybe we make big tweaks and changes until we get it the way we'd like it to be. You might find yourself kind of flowing between step 1 and step 2 a few times, and that's 100% okay. There's a time for creating, and then there's a time for critiquing or curating. And I like that word curating specifically for when you do what I call a brain dump, and you have lots of ideas on many different journal pages or different Google Docs, and you need to cherry pick which of these ideas you're going to move forward with. That's curating, darling. You can also consider curating out sentences and paragraphs and ideas that may not be working for the piece that you're working on. Or I have an even more organized way of thinking about this and putting it into a process. You're going to both curate and critique. So first, you can take that big mass of ideas that you generated in your brain dump, and you're going to do your first round of curation. Cherry picking. Which of those ideas are you going to go forward with? You put them into a separate, clean document. You never want to destroy your other ideas because you may find that you want to come back to something. So I always suggest, instead of rewriting the same document, create a version 2 of a document so that the old one still exists in case you want to go back. So now in your version 2 document, you're going to organize those ideas into an outline. If it's something small like social media captions, you could probably just go ahead and perfect what it is you want to say. But if you're writing something longer like a blog article, you're creating a presentation at work or for your next client pitch, you're writing your dissertation or you're writing your book, you want to put them in a way that's going to flow for the reader who's going to consume your content. It has to make sense to the reader. This is where you start thinking about how other people are going to receive your work, or more specifically, how they're going to experience your work. That's the way you should really be looking at it. So, what flow of information makes the best sense for your content piece? What's the order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you know what decade I'm from. Gen X, baby. Okay, so you also want to think about what is the purpose of your piece. That sounds like a good sermon title. What is the purpose of your piece? Okay, don't get me started to preach now. What is the purpose of your piece? Piece, not Peace. Is your piece for entertainment purposes? Is it for educational purposes? Or like me, we like to do a little bit of both. So your sequence, are you trying to educate people and take them through a step-by-step process? What is the order for those steps? Or are you entertaining them? What's the order or the sequence that's going to present your story in the most dramatic way that people will be like, oh my goodness, what happened next? Always want to keep them on the edge of their seats. This is basically the way you want to create your outline, especially for your longer pieces of content, like a book. Once you have your outline, you're going to move back into step 1, the creation stage. You're going to use that outline to create your first draft in a very judgment-free, Zen-like manner, okay? We're back in creation mode. And then once you've completed your draft, you're going to come back to step 2 and you're going to curate what needs to stay, what needs to go, and you're going to critique. Does this make sense to my ideal reader? You might need to pull in a few beta readers for your content, especially for longer works like a dissertation or a book, or even for a sales presentation before you publish or present your content. This is just all a fancy way of saying editing, people, okay? Just leave me with my fancy words. But this is basically what it is. You're editing. You cannot create and edit at the same time. It's 2 separate times. Ultimately, your editing or curation or critiquing decisions have to be made with the audience in mind. Unless, of course, you're journaling and then the audience is yourself and you can write whatever you want, baby. But if other people are intended to make use of whatever it is you're writing or creating, you have to think about how they're going to receive it. And will they be able to understand the way you've intended it exactly the way it's laid out? Because they're not going to have you over their shoulder being able to explain every little thing. So here's another question for you. What type of self-critiquing do you tend to give your writing? Is it the unhelpful kind, like everything sucks? Or do you think everything's perfect the first way you wrote it? Let me know your self-editing style down in the comments. And don't forget to click the link in my description to my blog post, which lists out more resources to help you improve your process for writing a book or creating content. Step number 3, complete. So now after you've had several rounds of curation or critiquing or editing, it's time to wrap it all up and put a bow on it. Finalize your choices. Make a decision. I'm going to tell you, editing can go on forever and ever if you let it. At some point in time, you have to say, let it go, let it go. Okay? Especially if you want to make sure that you proofread, run it through Grammarly or my personal favorite software, ProWriting Aid. And then depending on what it is, you may need to really package this thing up. If you're creating content and it was a video script, well, then you got to go into production and create that video and put on the finishing touches, such as creating your thumbnail, picking a title, and making captions and all of the things. If you're writing a book, then you're going to make sure you work with an editor to make sure you have gotten your line editing done, your proofreading done, you're formatting the book for upload to whichever platform or distributor is going to help you create and sell your book. You need to have your book cover done, the blurb on the back of the book, all of the things. So let me ask you this. Before this video, have you ever thought about your writing process or about your content creation process? Did you assume that your first draft was your final draft? Let me know your experience down in the comments. So create, curate, and complete. This three-step process can be used for such a wide variety of content applications. Which type of content are you going to be applying my three-step process to? Let me know down in the comments. So to wrap this all up with a bow, writing is a skill and skills are learnable. And as with any skill, you get better the more you practice it over time. So give yourself some patience if it doesn't all seem to come together the first time you try to use it. Just keep doing it. You'll get the hang of it. It'll start to feel more natural to you. And don't let feeling like you don't have the best writing skills hold you back from writing a book or creating any type of content. The very act of getting started means you're getting better. And every time you're doing it, you're improving your craft. Keep this in mind. If you're writing a novel, you cannot compare James Patterson's 42nd book to your first. He had a lot of runway before you, and by the time he got to that book, he had his own little system. Same with you. You're going to get there. Just don't expect to mimic somebody else's journey or somebody else's results. Your path is your own. Just be brave, get started, and keep going. And get help along the way. Hopefully, this video was a helpful marker along your path. I've got more videos about writing books and creating content on this channel just like these. So go ahead and click on one of them, and I'll see you on the other side.